All right, I'm ready. You ready? Okay.
3, 2, 1, blast off.
Nature everywhere. It's really cool.
That is amazing. So there are a lot of cars out there, a huge variety, and all of them are good for different things.
And there's a lot of cars out there that are great for people with physical limitations like myself. Some are better than others, but pretty much any car can be adapted for a wheelchair user. But there are not very many cars that don't require you to go to the gas station. And if you're a wheelchair user, you know that's a big deal. I'm talking big deal. And I'll show you in a second why that is.
Full disclosure, since this technology is new, it is ridiculously expensive right now. But like with any piece of tech, the price is going to drop over the next couple years. And it's just good to know that it currently exists.
One way to get a price break on technology is buying it used.
We bought this Tesla Model X used from Dan from the YouTube channel What's Inside. And it has some features that is awesome for everyone, but more so for Cambry. And we'll show you what those are.
Let's get started.
So this is the Tesla Model X, the SUV version, all electric, and is super incredibly fast. The Model X has a range of 280 miles, which is about the same as a tank of gas in a normal car. It's got a lot of personality with the Falcon doors, and I think it's gonna fit Cambry pretty well. It's got automatic doors, which is great.
With my last car, I never used the back hatch because I wasn't able to reach it once it was up to bring it back down. But with the Tesla, you can open it with the fob and close it with the fob, or your app on your phone, which makes my life a lot easier.
Cambry, you wanna show us how to get inside?
Yeah.
So you might not think that going to a gas station is a very big deal, but when you're in a wheelchair, it's a totally different ballgame.
You have to transfer the wheelchair and yourself in and out of the car twice. It's like going to the gym just to get gas.
So getting an electric car avoids the gas station altogether. But even though we get to avoid the gas station, Cambry still has to get in and out of the car. And no matter what car we get, the process is gonna be basically the same.
So I put my feet in first, or my legs in, and then I grab onto the steering wheel because it's locked at this point. One hand on my cushion, and I rotate in. And then I have to take this apart when I'm by myself.
When I'm with her, I help her out and then put the chair in the back. The back seats fold down and there's enough room for her wheelchair.
You can tell this is quite the process. So imagine doing this at the gas station multiple times in a row.
The wheels come off easy enough. And then she can take the wheels and put them in the back seat right next to one of the pilot seats in the middle.
And then I gotta make some space to pick up this guy. And then I place it on the passenger seat next to me. There you have it.
So you can see why avoiding the gas station is a good thing. Not only does she have to disassemble her chair, but reassemble it when she gets back out twice for the gas station. So having an electric vehicle that she can just plug in when she gets home is pretty awesome. So since Cambry's chair is made of metal, we added some protection, some clear plastic protection right here along the sidewalls. So when she brings her chair into the frame, it doesn't scratch anything. As well as we have a seat cover on this seat, as well as the center console and a screen protector on the display. So if anything taps the display or the seat,
Or the door,
everything's always protected. We had our buddies over at Lux Auto Spa, the same people who wrapped Dan's Tesla gray, applied those special protection features for us. I think they've done a pretty good job. We've had this car for about 2 weeks now and there's been no damage to the actual car. You might have heard that Teslas have something called autopilot, and you might think that with autopilot, someone with a disability can just jump in and start driving, but that's not the case yet. Full autonomous driving is coming in the future, but for right now, Cambry needs hand controls to operate the vehicle.
Okay, this car is already pretty well adapted to me. Like, we didn't have to make very many modifications, but something that I will always have to make modifications on is the hand controls. Since my legs don't work, my hand controls do the job. So this part, if you push forward, applies pressure to the brake. And then if you rock it back, it electronically controls the acceleration. Pretty cool. One of my favorite features is when you apply pressure to the brake, the door closes.
Nice.
And then I don't have to reach for it. Quick side note, one of my favorite features, and I know there's a few cars out there that have this, but the steering wheel heats up and I am always cold. So it is maybe my favorite feature of this car. My hands are nice and toasty.
Yeah, this has a lot of features that make life easier for everyone in general, but I think my favorite is that it's quicker than most sports cars, especially since Dan splurged a little when he bought it and got the P100D, which means this is the fast Model X. And Cambry has been fast. She's launched it a couple times in ludicrous mode, but she's never done it herself personally. So this will be the first time. Are you ready?
Are you ready for this?
I guess that is the question. Yeah, I think I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, blast off.
Oh my gosh.
My eyes are shaking.
Blast off.
Oh my gosh.
My eyes are shaking.
I like that you got to 30 miles an hour and stopped.
That scared me.
We
I
did.
was like losing control.
Seatbelts tighten up every time too. Oh, that was fun. You can feel like the blood rush to the back of your head because the acceleration is just so intense.
I think my eyes were shaking like this.
Oh, that's crazy. We had a friend in the car once and he's like, man, my blood forgot how to circulate, which is like the perfect example or the perfect analogy of what happens when this thing accelerates.
Description for sure.
Yeah. That was fun. How was it?
I just want to keep driving these trails.
It's super pretty out right now.
And there's like homes on the side of these roads that I'm sure they can't get to in the winter, but super cool. And it's just like mind-blowing how many colors are still out. I feel like a lot of the leaves have fallen, but it's still just like nature everywhere. It's really cool. Hi, Bertha. Hi. Oh. So when I take my hand off the accelerator, the car takes that energy of slowing down and puts it back into the battery. So essentially we could gain more miles by going downhill and using that energy.
So one of the reasons we chose the Model X over the Model S or the Model 3 was because it has slightly better off-road capabilities and it can tow things, which Cambry's pretty interested in.
The thing I like about it is you can change the suspension height, so it can be low for me to transfer in and out, but then it can also be raised when we're off-roading.
So obviously buying a Tesla is fairly expensive at the moment. The price is going to drop with time. And if you do end up buying a Tesla, the best way to do it is with the Tesla owner's code. Yeah, you can walk into a dealership and just buy a Tesla outright, but if you have this code, you get an extra 1,000 miles of free supercharging. 1,000 miles for you and 1,000 miles to the person whose code you're using, which would be me and Cambry. Supercharging is what we would use on long road trips. It fills the Tesla battery super quickly with power. We can fill a large chunk of the battery in just 30 to 45 minutes. A lot of people might think that you have to use these superchargers, but in reality, most people, including us, have a little charging station installed in our garage. The superchargers spread out across the United States are mostly just for long road trips. So one thing that bugs us both quite a bit is one, when there's no parking because someone takes the handicap spot, or two,
Someone parks right next to my car and I can't open the door wide enough to get in.
because she needs a lot of space. One cool thing with the Tesla is that it has the summon feature, but it's also now, with just this update, it's a smart summon, which means that she can park anywhere and she can call the car to her from across the parking lot. We're gonna try it out. So right now, Cambry's parked in an impossible location. There's no way she can get into the driver's seat, but since she has the app on her phone with the smart summon, she can now summon the car and it knows there's a car next to it and it's gonna come find Cambry.
I can't believe it did it with a car next to it.
What do you think about that?
Yep. I approve.
We're on the freeway right now, and Cambry has never tried out autopilot in her Model X yet. So we're gonna do it for the first time. So Cambry, when you're driving and there's that gray steering wheel up in the corner, it means that the car has identified the lanes in the road and it's ready to assist you with driving or self-driving. So on the steering wheel on that far side, there's a tiny little knob that if you click it towards you twice, it'll go into autopilot mode.
And it'll keep the same speed.
It'll keep the same speed and distance from the cars in front of you.
Okay, so just tap it twice?
Click it towards you twice, yeah.
Okay, are we sure? Okay.
There you go. Now the car is driving by itself, staying within the lines.
Man, this makes me anxious.
And now the steering wheel is blue, meaning that the car is driving itself. And about every 60 seconds or so, there will be a little flashing light that pops up saying take control of the steering wheel for a second, where you just have to nudge it to prove that you're still awake and listening. Dan and I made a video about what happens if you fall asleep while autopilot's engaged. So I'll leave a link for that down in the description. It's pretty cool. Cambry, what are your thoughts about autopilot?
Initially it's nerve-wracking because I didn't quite trust it, but and I still don't trust it 100%. I'll still keep my eyes on the road, but it allows for a little bit more freedom of my hands to do something else, like grab the window, like roll it up or down, grab my drink real quick, fix my seatbelt, adjust something for like the speed of the windshield wipers. It just gives me a little bit more freedom because my hands are always occupied if I'm doing it all the time.
And the best thing about all of this is that the autopilot capabilities are just going to keep on getting better and better. Right now the autopilot can navigate us while we're on the freeway, but soon, in the next year or two, it'll be able to take us from our house to our destination without us actually needing to drive ourselves.
Crazy.
So as this car is passing us on the side, we can see that the Tesla has recognized it and knows its position. It recognizes the other cars with all the cameras positioned outside of the vehicle, and that's what helps us drive safely. So Cambry, now that you don't have to control your vehicle with your hands, what are you going to do with them while you're driving from now on?
I'm still a responsible driver. I'm not going to be putting on makeup or anything. I'm going to rest my hands, I guess.
All the charging stalls are full, and there's so many Teslas just sitting waiting to plug in. All right, there's Dan. Open the door for him. And it is opening up. Convenient.
I miss this car. It looks so good. It's been a while. How long has it been since I've been in this car? Like 3 or 4 weeks you guys have had this now?
Yeah, it's been a little bit. I think the real reason you sold the Tesla to Cambry was because it's more of a feminine vehicle.
Oh, is it?
And you were scared about racing my truck.
See, I'm okay with the race. I don't know if that's the thing, but I'll let you go with that.
That's the real reason. So there we have it. We have the old owner in the back seat and the new owner in the front seat, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So if you wanna watch Dan's video on why he sold his Tesla, I'll leave a link for that right here. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and come hang out with Cambry and I on our Instagrams. We'll leave a link for those down in the description. And remember how we finished it off?
I miss this car. Is that how we finish it?
Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.
Perfect.
Yes.